Page 91 in your grammar books. Start there. Okay, lighten this up a little bit here. There we go. All right. Coordinating conjunctions. We've been talking about that before. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up clauses and I can't think of the words right now off the top of my head, but you guys know. So we know what conjunctions are. They connect the same type of words, phrases, or clauses. Week 2, we went way back to week 2 when we first learned about the 2 comma rules to be used with sentences when a sentence has a coordinating conjunction: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Do you guys remember the acronym for that? They don't have it here. Remember what we used to, it's like an acronym is each letter stands for something and it makes a word, and then that triggers memorizing those words. Do you guys remember the word? Yeah, Abby does. Do you remember, Paisley? What is it, Paisley?
No, it's like at the top of my tongue, but I don't have it.
You have it, Abby? You remember?
Fanboys?
Yes, fanboys, exactly. So it's the first letter of each of these: for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. So fanboys is the little word, the trick you can remember to help you remember what those words are. So good job. All right, so here's your example. Robin was kind, funny, and brave. So we're talking comma rules right now about this. So when you have a coordinated conjunction and connects 3 adjectives, kind, funny, and brave, then 2 commas are used. That's pretty easy. We already know that when you're listing things. This one connects 2 adjectives. When you only have 2, you don't need a comma. Robin was kind and funny. Okay. Today you will learn 2 more comma rules. Compare the sentences. So the stranger waited and whistled a tune. So in this sentence, the coordinating conjunction and connects 2 verbs, waited and whistled. So no comma is used. Whenever there's just 2, you just use and no comma. This is the pattern and A and B when A and B are verbs. Okay, here we've got it listed a little differently. The stranger waited and Robin whistled a tune. So in this sentence, the conjunction connects 2 main clauses. So those could each be a sentence themselves. The stranger waited, Robin whistled a tune. And so you do need a comma because they're 2 main clauses that you're connecting together. And then more comma rules down here. Here's the pattern. If you have a main clause, MC stands for main clause, CC is the coordinating conjunction, and then a second verb, there's no comma there. But here, if you have the main clause and then a coordinating conjunction and another main clause, then you do need a comma. So that's the rule to remember. If they're they could be 2 separate sentences, you do need a comma in between. Okay. I'm getting tongue-tied this morning. I don't know if I've not had enough coffee or too much copy. See, copy? I'm not even talking about copy. I'm talking about coffee. There's a fine line between not enough and too much. Have you guys noticed that about caffeine and sugar and stuff? It's like there's that little window of, okay, this is perfect, but it's really easy to go under or above that. So I don't know where I'm at this morning. All right, moving on. Write CC above each coordinating conjunction, and then remove a comma before a CC that connects 2 verbs, and add a comma before a CC that connects 2 main clauses. Robin agreed to spar and made a staff. Okay, so here they've got everything labeled. This whole thing is a main clause. You've got your verb agreed, you got your subject Robin, another verb made, and then you've got your coordinating conjunction. So you're connecting 2 verbs here, agreed and made, so you do not need a comma. This example, they rearranged the words a little bit. Robin agreed to spar and he made a staff. So now you've got two clauses. That's when you use the comma. Okay, so that's the little rule that you'll remember. They've already labeled the subject verb in each clause, because remember, those can stand alone. So that's why they're called a main clause. They have the verb and subject pair. Any questions about this page? Pretty straightforward. Okay, on the back, we're actually going to do a practice here. And we're going to talk about some examples and then decide if they need a comma or not a comma. So this is how this works. Read each sentence and decide if the coordinating conjunction contains verbs or clauses. If the coordinating conjunction contains main clauses, insert a comma. Circle the correct comma rule pattern. Okay. People, I mean, I almost said people are barking around here. Oh boy, it's going to be one of those days. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I just say words. It's like, where did that come from? I don't even know. I guess I just entertain myself. I guess that's, you know, there's something to that, I guess. It doesn't take much. Robin accepted the challenge and collected his arrows. Okay. So we've got he accepted and collected. Those are the two verbs right here, right? Go ahead and just underline those because I think that will help us. He accepted the challenge and collected his arrows, but these are not two main clauses. We can't, they're not individual sentences by themselves. So we're connecting a main clause, Robin accepted the challenge, and then we're connecting a second verb, collected. So you're going to circle this right here for that first example. So we're just going to take turns. And then you can read the sentence and look at it and decide if you think it's a main clause. If you think it's you could say first one or second one, if it's connecting two main clauses or if it's connecting a main clause to a verb. You can tell us what you think it is, and then we'll decide if you're correct or not. So let's start with Bronx. Go ahead and read the sentence and then tell us which one you think it is.
Okay. Robin accepted the challenge and he collected his arrows.
Good.
I think it's the right one. MC,
CC, MC, which is main clause, coordinating conjunction, and main clause. You're right, because we've got, and you can underline the whole clause here. Robin accepted the challenge. He collected his arrows. So obviously those are two sentences put together with the word and. So yes, those are two main clauses. Good. Okay, Abby, how about read the next one?
The waterfall spilled over the cliff and it created a whirlpool.
Good.
Would that be the main clause, coordinating conjunction, and main clause?
Yes, because you've got the waterfall spilled over the cliff and it created a whirlpool. Both of those are main clauses. So yes. Paisley, go ahead and read the next one.
The waterfall spilled over the cliff and created a whirlpool.
Okay, so we've got the main clause here, the waterfall spilled over the cliff, but is created a whirlpool a complete sentence by itself? No. So which one would it be, Paisley?
The MC and then the coordinating conjunctions. And two.
And then the second verb?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we got created here, but it's not a clause. So you're correct. So, oops, we forgot to put a comma in these. Oopsie. So the comma goes here. That's important. Right before the coordinating conjunction. And the comma goes there. But when you have a situation like this, you have a main clause and then a second verb, no comma there. Okay, so back to Bronx.
Little John released the arrow, but surprisingly missed the target.
Okay. We got this main clause.
I think it's main clause, coordinating conjunction, second verb.
Yep, I agree. Because when you look at this, it's not a complete sentence over here. So I agree with that. So no comma there. How about Abby on the next one?
Little John released the arrow, but he missed the target. There'll be main clause, coordinating conjunction, and main clause.
Yes, good. So comma here after arrow, right before the coordinating conjunction, and he missed the target. Good job. Okay, Paisley.
Robin was an outlaw, so he could not return home. The main clause, coordinating conjunction, main clause.
Yes, Robin was an outlaw. He could not return home. The coordinating conjunction is so. The comma goes right there before it. Okay, back to Bronx for the last one.
Okay. Robin was an outlaw and could not return home. Main clause, coordinating conjunction, second verb.
Yes, you got it. We got Robin was an outlaw and could not return home. Obviously, is not a main clause by itself. So that is correct. You guys got it. So go ahead and turn the page and let's go to 93. Practice that page real quick. Any volunteers to read the sentences today? Bronx, you're usually the guy that is willing.
Okay.
I like how the girls are like, don't look at the camera, don't look at the camera. And then I see you like, come on, somebody else raise their hand. And you're like, all right, I'll read it. I know you guys.
Okay.
I can read you through the computer. Okay, go for it.
I welcome you to try.
I think this is countered.
Countered the stranger with a twinkle in his eye. I'm happy to wait.
There's a lot of problems with these sentences. That's why it was kind of hard to read. But countered. All right. So countered is what they used in place of said because someone's speaking. So obviously that's something we're going to have to fix is the quotation marks. But countered is in response or opposition. So if you counter somebody, usually it's the opposite of whatever the other person is saying. All right, so we know countered. Go ahead and put check there. Let's put our articles. Go ahead and mark your articles. Oh, there's only two. I was looking for one more, but there's only two. Okay, nouns. Abby, what do you think? Where are nouns at?
Stranger.
Okay. That one's a pronoun. That one's a pronoun. Oh, I, E-Y-E.
Yeah.
I was thinking I, this one. Okay, yes, you are correct.
I'm not sure about the last one.
Yeah, it's tricky because it feels like it should be an adjective. It's twinkle. But since you have a behind it, remember the test for a noun, you can either count it or you can put an article in front of it. So a twinkle makes it a noun. But sometimes twinkle is an adjective. So, you know, it is one of those that changes depending on how it's used. So good job. Okay. Paisley, pronouns.
I.
Yes.
You.
Yep.
I'm.
Yes. So the I in I'm is the pronoun. So I'm just going to try to fit it right over the I. There we go. It's a little lighter. Bronx, we need adjectives.
Okay. His.
His, good. His eye, good. One more.
Happy.
Yep, you got it. Oops. All right, totally messed that up. ADJ. Okay. Prepositional phrases. We're back to, I think, Abby. Prepositional phrases, it looks like there's 2 of them.
In his eye.
In his eye, good.
And wait.
That's a tough one because wait is not a noun.
Yeah.
So actually, twinkle is the noun it would end on. So what would it be?
Twinkle?
Yes, with a twinkle. Yep. That's it. Good. Main clauses, there's 3 of them. So remember, main clauses have a subject verb pair. So Paisley, what is there's 3 of them. So can you find the first one?
I welcome you to try.
Yes, good. That's right. And the next one?
The stranger.
It would actually start right here, like countered, but you're on the right track.
The stranger with a twinkle in his eye.
Good. Yes, the whole thing. And then the last one?
I'm happy to wait.
Yes. Good, Paisley. All right. And sometimes, sometimes I do choose the subject and verb pairs first. This time I didn't. I forgot. But if that helps you when you're doing your homework, you can do that. Look for your subject verb pair first and then find those main clauses. So back to Bronx in this first main clause. What is your verb here?
My verb, welcome.
Yes. And sometimes, try could be a verb, but in this sentence, it's not. It's welcome. So you're right. And then who is it that welcomes?
I.
Yep. So that's your subject. Since there's 3, I'll go on to Abby. What's the next subject verb pair in the next? Start with a verb.
Countered.
Good. Countered.
And then stranger.
Good. Got it. Paisley, the last one. What's the verb here?
Happy and wait, or is just.
That's a tricky one. Okay. Happy is already labeled as an adjective. So it's not a verb in this sentence, but it can be a verb depending on how it's used in the sentence. And then wait does sound like it could be a verb, but it's actually am. This one's tricky. So see how you have I'm. So I is the pronoun, but am is the helping verb. So the V goes here above the M. Okay. And the wait is not a verb here because we have to wait. And because to is in front of it, wait does not become the verb in that sentence. Okay, so we got those. We have a lot of other things to fix here. So indent, remember when a new speaker is speaking, we need to indent. So we're actually going to indent right here, this first part. It's 2 lines and a backwards P. And then capitals, you guys know that already, that one. And then this I. We do need a comma. And it has to do with the quotation marks. You remember when we had the attribution at the front or after the quote, it kind of told us where the comma goes. So where does anybody want to try to take a guess where you think that comma goes? Okay, Bronx.
I'm.
No, good guess. You're thinking apostrophe though, right?
Yeah.
We do need to do that. Let's stick that in there. I'm apostrophe. So we do have that we can check apostrophe. I'm looking for like a comma though. So after somebody speaks, what do you think, Abby? Where does a comma go?
After try.
Yeah, because he says, I welcome you to try. That's the end of the quote. So the comma goes there, and then the quotation marks, might as well stick those in. And I'm totally running out of room, so you just have to make it work. The comma goes on the inside of the quotation mark. I welcome you to try, and then countered the stranger. We actually, with a twinkle in his eye, that's the rest of that. But then we have one more quote here. I'm happy to wait. So go ahead and put your quotation marks around that. Your period goes inside the quotation marks there. So we got our comma, we got our quotation marks, and we got our end marks. So phew, we made it. We're done. You guys did great though. I think you guys are really getting a lot better at this. All right, done with grammar. You can put that away. Oops, okay. Let's see what's going on here. Now, we need to talk about another banned word. So if you guys could find, we're also going to talk about Mike the Headless Chicken again. Did you tell anybody about that story? Anybody in your family or any friends or anything? Yeah, Bronx says yeah. Did you tell anybody, Abby? No, she's like, it's too disgusting. I don't want to talk about it anymore. How about you, Paisley? Did you tell anybody about it? You did? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. And I feel kind of bad, but not really bad because I did not forewarn you about that when we read it last week. Because I just like to see your reactions anyway. There's that element of surprise. Your banned words is the blue page. Did you guys find that, page 49? Okay. Obviously, yours has a lot more on it. Mine does not because I usually use my plastic here. But let's see. Paisley, tell me what you have, just the top boxes. What do you have at the top of your boxes there?
Say, said, seesaw, think, thought, eat, ate.
Okay. Everybody else have the same ones? Okay, good. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have the whole top is filled in, right? All right, so I'm going to fill in this one because that's probably the same box you're at. We're going to talk about go/went. Go/went. That is now banned from your writing. So shame on you if you use it. I'm just kidding. No shaming. But try not to use it because this is part of the style that we're learning in this class, is to get away from those boring, overused words that we always, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. So don't think I'm above you guys in any way because I'm guilty. So we can start thinking outside the box now with go and went and try to get creative on how we describe if somebody leaves the room or if they're, on their way to the store or something like that. You can get creative on how to describe that with different words. I'll help you get started, but be thinking, instead of using go or went, be thinking of how or what that looks like. Like I could even use the word left. Like he left the room instead of he went out of the room. We could say he left the room. Or I'll give you one more, traveled. Instead of he went to the park, he traveled to the park, or he traveled to the mountains. All right, you guys get your juices going a little bit. Anybody have any ideas on what we could use instead of go or went? Okay, Abby.
Would journeyed be one?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to say Did I spell that right? Does it have a Y in it? Journeyed? I think it does. It's one of those Y words that you don't change to I. But you guys know spelling is not my forte. And I'm going to let you, if you have a cell phone or if you know how to minimize your Zoom and get on your laptop, you can look up a synonym for go or went to help you if you need help brainstorming. So let me know when you've come up with one. I'm just going to check journeyed, and it is correct. It does have a Y. You guys think of anything? Quit laughing at me, Bronx. I see you laughing over there. I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's like, who, me? I'm laughing. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I would do without these cell phones anymore, you know? How did we live without them? Because I did live without them, and I kind of have a hard time remembering that, but. Okay, another word. Did you guys come up with anything? Yeah, Paisley, do you have one? No. Do you guys have like an old-fashioned thesaurus? You know, the actual book? Yeah? No? I think that would actually be kind of cool and kind of old school to have one. Maybe you could ask for one for Christmas. Just kidding. But, you know, I bet if you went to your parent and said, hey, Mom, Dad, can I have a thesaurus? Would you mind buying me a thesaurus? They probably would be like, oh my gosh, yes, we will buy you one, because your parents are like, I'm probably older than some of your parents, but they get it. They want some of that old school stuff to come back. So try that. It's like a dictionary. You look up the word like you would look up go, and then there's a giant list of other options. So it's kind of cool. All right. Since you guys are like brain dead this morning, I guess I'll just keep talking. How about departed? Departed. It's too much coffee. It's got to be that. It has to be that. So, and you know what? We ran out of creamer. So I had to use milk and sugar. And then there's that sugar element because I like sweet coffee. And sometimes the scoop gets a little bit bigger than it normally does because I like sugar. What can I say? Okay, back to this. Toured. Toured. That's a weird one. I guess if you're touring the country or the city. Anything yet? Anything at all in your brains?
Set off.
Set off?
Yeah.
Okay. That's more of a slang, but that's okay. You could use that. Thank you for that. Bronx? Nothing? Nothing. You need another cup of coffee. That's what you need. Okay, Abby.
Could we do stuff like walked or ran?
Yes. Yes. You totally could do that. Walked, ran, or rushed. I'll give you a couple more. Explored. Strolled. Okay, we're probably running out of room here, but you get the idea, because go and went is either you're walking or you're driving or you're riding a bike, you're leaving somewhere. So this is clearly just a sample of how many there are out there. So when you're writing, stay away from go and went from now on. And you can use this list and your phone or your computer or a thesaurus or something. Siri. I wonder if Alexa knows. Do you think you could ask Alexa what's another word for go or went? I've never tried that before, but she might be able to help you if you have her around. But sometimes it's creepy because she'll think I'm talking to her and I'm not. So it makes me wonder who else is listening out there in the world. You never know these days.
So my sister's name's Alexis. So when you have Alexa around, she gets confused and she thinks you're talking to her.
That's funny. And then Alexa is actually responding and they're both going, what? That's
Yeah,
funny.
so I'm all like, hey Lexi, can you get me some water? And then Lexi just starts talking. I'm like, what?
She's like, that's outside of my capabilities. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. All right, next thing we're going to do, go ahead and get out your paragraph that you worked on this week from Mike the Headless Chicken. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. And we're going to actually share a few things since there's just 3 of you in this class. So the first thing I want you to do as you look at your paragraph, I'm just going to have you take turns telling me your dress up words. So when you look in your checklist, just because we want to make sure to stay connected to that checklist. So you do need to have that out as page 79. In fact, I'll share that. And you're going to just tell us your checklist words. There should be 4 in your paragraph. And then as you read your paragraph, I'll tell you the next step. So let's just start with your 4 dress up words. So I'll start with Bronx. What are your 4 dress up words in your first paragraph?
So I thought that it was supposed to be like throughout the story. I didn't think it was supposed to be in every paragraph.
All right, well, fair enough. And that's okay. I've only told you a million times. No, just kidding. It's okay. I forgive you. But if you look at your checklist, that symbol is paragraph. So you've got paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. That means these should be in each paragraph. Okay. So all 3 paragraphs. So you should have 4 dress up words in paragraph 1, 4 dress up words in paragraph 2, and 4 dress up words in paragraph 3. Does that make sense, Bronx?
Yeah.
All right. So you're off the hook if you don't have it, but I will be asking you again another time. I will put you on the spot. So make sure that you
I'll be prepared next time.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you. Okay. Because I do want to hear your paragraph, but I'm going to come back to you because we're just doing the dress up words first. So Abby, what are your 4 dress up words in paragraph 1?
I have who for my who which clause.
Okay.
I was wondering, is usually an ly word?
It is. It's an adverb. Yes, you can use that.
So then I have usually, I have my because clause, and for my strong verb, I did peck at food.
Okay. Peck is good. Yeah, because it's descriptive. So it gives an image. So good. What is your who clause actually? Can you read that sentence?
Sure. I wrote Lloyd and Clara Olson, who would usually kill their chickens to sell their meat, one day created a miracle rooster that would live for quite some time.
Nice. I like the way you put that. That's perfect. And then your because clause?
Let me see. The rooster's brainstem and ear were still intact, and because of this, the rooster was still alive.
Nice. Okay, good. Those are great ways to use those clauses. Good job. How about Paisley, did you get a chance to do your paragraph yet? Okay. Do you have your dress up words underlined? You're muted.
I didn't get the strong verb, but I have the other ones.
Oh, okay. So what do you have for your ly adverb?
Surprisingly.
Oh, good. That's a good one. And then what's your who or which clause?
One day, Lloyd and Claire, who were chicken farmers, or who were struggling chicken farmers.
Is that the end of the sentence?
Yeah, no. Oh, you want me to go? Needed.
Just the whole sentence. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Needed to prepare for the meat market by killing and processing chickens.
Good. Okay. Because I was wondering if you had that second half, because a lot of times the who or which comes in the middle and you need to like have another verb after it. So needed was perfect. You did a great job with that. And then you have a because clause. Can you read that sentence?
Because of the circus, they made $4,500 a month, charging cents.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said charging 50 cents to see the headless chicken.
Okay, good. So the because clause is kind of tricky sometimes. It is best to not start the sentence with a because, but you can. And it works okay in that sentence, but just keep in mind to move it sometimes, maybe in your next paragraph, move it to the middle of your sentence. So you're not always starting with because, just a little tip there. But that is a sentence starter that we will eventually start using. Okay, aside from that, okay, let's do this next. So our band words were say, said, see, saw, think, thought, ate, eat, ate. We're not going to count go, went, because that's a new one for us, unless you actually followed that one in your first paragraph. So when I'm going to have Bronx read his paragraph, so we're going to listen for two things. We're going to listen for any of the band words. And then we're also going to listen for the topic clincher sentences. Did you remember to do that, Bronx? He's like, oh no. You know what? It's all right. This is good because he won't forget now. You see this part right here, topic clincher sentence. Remember the rule, the topic, it's like a little hand. I think it starts like this. Oh, it goes like this. The topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect 2 or 3 key words. That's the whole thing that you guys got to memorize. So it's okay, Bronx. You are forgiven. I absolve thee. You may move on with your life, but don't do it again. Don't forget. So, okay, let's just have Bronx read his paragraph. How about that? Go ahead, Bronx, whenever you're ready.
Okay. One day, a farmer and his wife were slaughtering and processing chickens. Unfortunately, there was a mishap with one of the chickens. The farmer had sliced off half the chicken's head. The unfazed chicken continued pecking and scratching at the ground. To the farmer and his wife's amazement, they decided to nurse the chicken back to health. They called him Mike the Headless Chicken. Mike was a disabled chicken. He had a special way of feeding. He used an eyedropper to feed him. Mike, milk, water, and corn mixture.
Nice. And that was just your paragraph 1?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. I really like how you tied all that together. I heard an ly adverb and a strong verb in there. So you did have those two things. I think you were missing just the who, which. Did you have because in there too? I thought I remembered hearing because. Okay. Did you guys, okay, and did you guys hear any band words? Either Paisley or Abby? I didn't hear them either. So good job. You got lucky on that, Bronx. I like your paragraph. It's good. You just need to double check these things and make sure they're there. And then the topic clincher is kind of like the title rule. Remember, you're using 2 to 3 key words. They can be the same exact word where you're repeating it, or it could be a reflection, which means like a synonym for it, okay? And then the way you identify it, you highlight it either with an actual highlighter or bold. You can make it darker or something like that, okay? The keywords that you're using in your topic sentence and your clincher sentence. Does that make sense, Bronx? Because I'll be looking for that. Okay. All right, good job. How about Abby, can you read your paragraph? We're going to listen for any banned words, and then we're also going to listen for that topic clincher sentence. So whenever you're ready, go for it.
Okay. Lloyd and Clara Olson, who would usually kill their chickens to sell their meat, one day created a miracle rooster that would live for quite some time. The Olsons would kill and process their chickens so that they could take their meat to a meat market. They were in the process of killing how do you pronounce that? Wyandotte.
Oh, Wyandotte. Yeah,
Wyandotte. Okay.
Yeah.
They were in the process of killing a Wyandotte rooster, but as the axe was about to come down, the rooster squirmed, and the axe almost missed its head. The rooster's head was gone, but not the jugular vein. The jugular vein returns blood from the brain back to the heart. The rooster's brainstem and ear were still intact, and because of this, the rooster was still alive. The headless rooster still walked, attempted to peck at food, and tried to crow. Lloyd and Claire Olson had just accidentally made a miracle rooster.
I love it. Accidentally. Yep. And nobody's been able to replicate it, even though I think it's kind of sad that people have tried. I'm like, that's awful trying to make that happen. I don't think I'd want to.
For the sake of the chickens.
Exactly. It's like, what are you doing? That's so cruel. Just try to chop the head, but don't get the jugular. It's like, no, you can't do that. That was a total miracle for sure. Okay, good job, Abby. I really like your paragraph. And then I was listening for your topic clincher. And can you just tell us what words you bolded in the first and last sentence?
Sure. In the first sentence, I bolded created miracle rooster. And the last one I did made miracle rooster.
Perfect. It's perfect. Yep. So you got miracle rooster as a repeat and then created and made. That's perfect. Good job. Okay, Paisley, go for it. You can read us your paragraph.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. One day, Lloyd and Claire, who were struggling chicken farmers, needed to prepare for the meat market by killing and processing chickens. When a young wiggly chicken caused the farmers to miss and only cutting off the beak, face, eyes, and ear. The chicken was surprisingly alive and able to walk and peck for food. The next day, the next day when Mike was still alive, Lloyd was making bets that he had a live headless chicken. And eventually a reporter came. After people read the paper, a man named Hope Wade made a proposition that Lloyd and Claire should do a sideshow. In the circus. Because of the circus, they made $4,500 a month, charging 50 cents to see the headless chicken. This rooster and the farmers were very interesting. The clincher sentence was not ready.
That's okay. So was that just one paragraph or did you actually write 3 paragraphs?
No, that was one.
That was one. Okay. So you included a lot of details there. I like it. I'm just worried that you might not have enough to write about later. So you might have to limit what you talk about in that first paragraph. Because you guys remember last week, and I erased it, but I remember talking to you about some topic ideas, but good job, Paisley. I really like how it's sounding. You've got some great descriptive words in there and it actually flows really nicely. And it's, you've got some good words in there. So good job. All right. We talked about and you don't have to write this down because I think you already have it. These topic ideas, his headless, abilities. I think we talked about owners and then his the accident. And I think we decided together that was going to be the first paragraph, probably starting with introducing the owners, which all of you did, which was great, talking about the accident and then the headless abilities. So that ended up being your first paragraph. Now, the other ideas we talked about his fame and his sideshows, because I noticed that, Paisley, you mentioned his sideshows and stuff that might need to go into its own paragraph, because I don't want you to run out of things to say. But I also noticed was it Bronx? Did you talk about how they fed and cared for him? Or was that Abby? I'm trying to remember which one.
I believe it was me because I was talking about what the supplies that they fed him with and how they fed him.
Yeah, okay. So, and then there's another topic, death, and then the festival at the end of the year, or once a year, I guess. Those are the topics we talked about the other day. So now you've got your first paragraph. This is paragraph 1. You can decide which one you want to focus on now for paragraph 2, and you're going to work on your keyword outline 2 and 3. Okay, so on your outline, let me just set this aside for a second here. And you've already got all this set up, so I'm just going to start here. You've already got your outline here with, I think we decided 5. Remember, the Roman numeral is the fact. So we decided to talk about the owners and the accident and his abilities. And by the way, Bronx, make sure this word clincher is on your outline. Okay, don't erase that. You want to keep that there because that's going to remind you about that. So today we already did this, so I'm just going to leave that blank. So you get to decide on one of these other topics, what you want to focus on for paragraph 2. Do you guys have any idea what you want to talk about next in your version of this or your report from this? Because it kind of makes sense to go into maybe his fame and sideshows. That could be paragraph 2. And maybe you could even kind of combine these for paragraph 3. Or, not use one of them. You don't have to talk about the festival. And maybe you could just talk about the feed and care and then his death. So do you see what I'm trying to get you to see is try to group together those topics. And then let's say, for instance, we're going to do his fame and sideshows for paragraph 2. When you go back into your story, when you write your outline, you would focus on when it starts talking about this here. You could mention that there was a sideshow promoter, Hope Wade. And then later talking about tour of the country, visited California and Arizona. I mean, those are the key words you could pull out for your topic. And the topic would be his fame and sideshows. Does that make sense to you guys? Are you tracking what I'm saying there? Okay, because we're looking at the second Roman numeral on your outline now. You're going to do Roman numeral 2 and 3. But I'm going to let you decide for yourself what you want to focus on for your second paragraph. So if you focused on the fame and slideshows, which is what I would do, and you can do the same, I would just do fame, whoops, not slideshows, sideshows. And then I might put the word tour. And then from here, like I said, you could talk about how much money they made. Somebody already mentioned that in their first paragraph. I think it was Paisley. Maybe a couple of you did, but you might want to move that to the middle paragraph if that kind of flows better. So you can move into that fame and sideshows and then move into what happened and how he died for your third paragraph. So I'm just going to write in here, and you can write this in. You might have to use the back of your outline, your keyword outline, because I can't remember if we have enough room on there, but if not, you can use the back of it. And then clincher, and let's say for me, I would probably pick, I would probably say his death here. Maybe I'll put like failure, death. Oh, sorry, if you're writing in pen, failure, care, death. By the way, you know, your keywords now, I'm just going to remind you, I think you all know, we're not actually technically pulling words that are actually in the story. I mean, you can, but you're pulling information from your brain because the story now is in your head. And then you can recall words that you can use in your outline. So, or you can go back and look in there if that helps you. Either way, it doesn't matter because you're not copying sentence by sentence. That's plagiarism. But what you're doing is pulling the key ideas from the story or your brain about what happened. So that's what I recommend. But if you guys would rather talk about their festival, I mean, you could put the festival down here for 5, something about their yearly festival. So what I want to do next here, just check my notes real quick. I'm just going to give you, because we're almost out of time, I'm just going to give you about 3 minutes to just get as far as you can on Roman numeral 2, even if it's just filling in this one, just regular number 1. But go back to Roman numeral 2. And if you want to write something different other than the fame and sideshows and tour, I'm just going to give you a minute to think about what you want to put in your keyword outline. Remember, numbers, symbols, and abbreviations are free. Just go ahead and try to get one of those filled in, okay? And then we'll talk about that. If you have any questions, just let me know. So you guys are just working on your outline, Roman numeral 2 there, and fill it in. I'm just going to give you a couple more minutes here as far as you can get. Paisley, which one are you working on? Oh, you're muted.
Both.
Okay. What did you decide to put here? Did you write the same thing as me or did you pick something different?
I did fame, sideshows, and festival.
Oh, okay, good. That's a good one. And so you're working on these right here, these facts. Remember, when you're looking for these facts, make sure you keep it all about fame, sideshow, and festival, okay? Make sure you keep all those together. But that's a great idea to tie in the festival there. I didn't think about that. How about you, Abby? What did you decide to use as your middle paragraph?
I just took what you wrote.
Okay. Did you get very far with this next one? Regular number one?
I've made it to the second one.
Oh, good. Okay, tell me what you got for 1 and 2 right here under Roman numeral 2.
Okay, I wrote local reporter interview, and then I have like an abbreviation to WL for 2 weeks later, a sideshow promoter.
Nice. That's really good. It's kind of like a texting abbreviation. I like it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, how about you, Bronx? What did you decide for your Roman numeral 2?
I decided fame, journey, and life.
Oh, nice. Okay. And did you get to number 1 yet right here?
I'm working on it.
Working on that one? Okay, good. So make sure you keep everything in that paragraph focused on that. That's your topic for that paragraph, okay? So all your facts that you pull from there need to match that. So, okay, good. Well, we're almost out of time. So let me remind you, your homework is your grammar pages 94 to 96. And I apologize, I didn't get the answer key in there right away. It took me a little bit. So I'm going to make sure to get that posted sooner for you. And then finish this. You're going to finish both Roman numeral 2 and Roman numeral 3. You guys are on the right track now. And you're going to finish writing these 2 paragraphs. Okay. So I know that Paisley, you put fame, sideshows, and festival, but you mentioned, I think you mentioned the money that they were making up here. So you need to move that to the second paragraph so it stays with the same topic. So, but I'll remind you of that in your Google Classroom in the comments. And then this is for Bronx and the rest of you. Use your checklist, please. Each one of these goes in each paragraph. This is where it gets tricky because this is how you create style in your writing. This is super important. And then watch for these banned words. Don't use them, okay? And I'm telling you a lot. Topic clincher sentence, don't forget that. Bronx, I mean, everybody. Topic clincher sentence for each paragraph. And since you're writing your report, you're also going to need a new title. All right. You remember the title rules. You got to tie it in to that very last sentence. So really that third paragraph, that last sentence is going to have a topic clincher and a title connection there with matching words. So you got to get creative on that. And that's your homework. You guys good? All right. That's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a good week. You're welcome.